encourage.
It's been about a week since a motorcyclist from Seguin was struck by a semi-truck. Today, 52-year-old Mike Buddenhagen continues to fight for his life at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. Buddenhagen has been in an induced coma and suffers a brain bleed from a fractured skull, broken ribs, a broken hand, a broken pelvis, and a broken tailbone. He also reportedly lost his leg on impact. The man's sister, Angela Hall, tells KWED that because the road to recovery will be a very difficult one, she's established a GoFundMe.com account so that folks can help to support both his wife, Meagan, and his teenage daughter.
Meagan can't work because she has to be there with Mike, and because she's his voice at this point, and she lives 45 minutes from the hospital, a loss of wages as well because he can't work now. And he's a diesel mechanic, and when he comes out of this, we don't know how long it's going to be. He lost his leg. So there is going to be either way of an outcome to this story, a lose-lose situation almost for him. And financially, that can just add to the stress and people's faith, when they are faced with an accident like this.
Paul says the family is just simply grateful to have him survive the crash. She says after being struck by the 18-wheeler during the early morning hours on a Sunday, January 15th, a fast-thinking Seguin police officer, identified as Officer Justin Marine, was able to save his life by placing a tourniquet on his leg. Officer Marine was patrolling in the 2500 block of State Highway 123 bypass when he witnessed the crash and provided immediate assistance.
Oh my gosh, I already left him a message, and I literally cried on the phone, and I just told him thank you so much for being in the right place at the right time. It was like God knew that my brother was going to need somebody like that, that had the experience to do what he was able to do, and I told him, you are just a true hero. And we are just so grateful and thankful. Like I told him, I never could repay him for what he did for my brother. And he's going to, he said when he gets better, he's going to come visit him. And he said it was really healing for him, too, to hear from my sister-in-law, because he didn't know, once he was taken away in the fight for life, he goes, I've been kind of having nightmares. And he goes, and I didn't know, what had happened to him. So it was bothering him. So it actually helped him move forward with his healing, knowing that what he did actually saved a life. We need more heroes like him in the world for sure.
Paul says that she knows firsthand of the peace of mind that a GoFundMe account can provide for families facing these kind of challenges and tragedies. She says it's a safe way to help those whether you know them or not.
I've had firsthand experience. I unfortunately lost my 26-year-old son 3.5 months ago in a motorcycle accident, and he died on the scene. And I had some coaches that I work with that started up a GoFundMe for me to deal with, so that I didn't have to worry about any additional expenses from, not being able to work, being able to be present, the funeral expenses, all of the expenses that came up with that. And I know how expensive it was and how much of a blessing it was for everybody that came together for me to do the GoFundMe. It literally changed the experience when you're trying to deal with an accident, something that you can't prevent. So from going through my own experience, this is just one of the fastest ways I figured that we could help, and everybody could join together, and whether they donate $10 or $20 or they donate whatever they feel called to donate, or share the GoFundMe, because it's a long road to recovery, and we just don't know the extent of what's happening and what's going to take place moving forward.
Again, the GoFundMe page has been set up in support of 52-year-old Mike Buddenhagen. Those who want to give are asked to search the GoFundMe page under Budman's recovery journey. Radio listeners can also find a link to that in today's digital online story. You can go to SeguinToday.com. There's also a link on our Facebook page.